Yeah, thank you for having us here, Austin, Mo, Avery. Yeah, it's me, EVNFT Bones from the Tsunami team. Look forward to chatting with all you guys. Super excited about this space. But don't want to hog the whole panel. Definitely want to hear everybody else chat. And then I think in a little bit I'll probably do a little bit of an intro to Tsunami. But yeah, thank you for having us here in GM.
Good morning. Starspace, Spooks. I'll let you guys go back to back.
Yeah, here's Django, the co-founder of Spooks, and I'm excited to be here.
Thanks, Austin. I'm Chad. I am the one of the co-founders of Starspace. Currently struggling with some sickness post NFT NYC, and just about to board a plane here to Hong Kong at the airport, so I may lose service. But listen, we're powering through it. We're having fun, and love Aptos.
You're gonna have to tell them you're in the Aptos ecosystem town hall, and they're gonna have to wait. So, Evo, anyone else? Here, just run through. If you're up
Yeah,
here, give a quick intro.
yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. It's Kate. I'm Eva Wallet Marketing Lead, and I'm really glad to be here.
Hey, what's up? What's up, everyone? It's Doug from Live here. I like all this back padding that's going on for the West Coasters, waking up a little bit early to hop on a Twitter space. Good for you all. Looking forward to talking Aptos.
This is Dream from DeuceX. Just here to kind of listen to kind of what the future and the plans are for Aptos. Very interested in seeing kind of what I know, like the grants have opened up. I'm interested to hear more about kind of like how that's going to kind of roll out and kind of the marketing strategy to improve the ecosystem in Aptos and just connect with a few people on here.
Were you who I was DMing with yesterday?
Yes. Yep. That was me. Nice to actually meet you.
You as well. This might be the quickest DM to voice chat I've ever gone. So this is awesome. We got Panda Awakening, Kana. A couple more people say hello.
Good morning, all. This is Vinay from Pandas Awakening and Team Chingari. I'm really glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Hi guys, Karthik from Kana Labs. Nice to be here, all the way from India. Kind of bit late in the night for evening for us, but good to be here.
Excellent. Well, glad you guys are all here. I think we have time zone representation from almost everywhere, so it's awesome to see. And we have a ton of requests, so if you are requests, just keep that up. We'll be just rolling through people. I think I don't want to take any more time, Mo, Avery. This is kind of the highlight for you guys. Do you want to give a quick intro and just tell us what's top of mind for you?
Sure, Avery. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
You can go for it, Mo.
All right, I will go first. So, yeah, first of all, thank you all globally for joining, and even folks that might be in the air, and hopefully the Wi-Fi works. I mean, it's been crazy to see all the activity that's taken place in such a short amount of time for the Aptos ecosystem. And for us, I think, although it feels short, it's also been so long. I mean, we've been building this protocol for quite a while. And so it's just been amazing to see, you guys building products and validating that this technology is something amazing. And, that kind of brings me to a little bit of the reason that why we wanted to all connect with everyone. I'm excited to hear all the updates from, all the folks that I'm seeing here. Whether you've been building natively on Aptos or you've been building on another protocol, and now see the advantages of building on Aptos. But I think the unifier here for us has always been focusing on the single mission of making sure people understand what Web3 is for and actually getting them to use it. And as we think about the breadth of projects in this space, whether it's a social app, a new gaming product, new ways of processing video so that you can have true decentralized, uncensored content out there. I think all of you all are doing, pushing the boundaries for this technology. And as part of that, the ease of adoption is also it's becoming a lot easier for the end user and the developer, and that's happening because not only is Aptos and Move kind of easy to use, but everyone here is operating with these very core principles about building technology for the masses and for the people. And so it's just one thing I wanted to call out, it's been amazing to see that over the last 7 months or so, as you guys have been launching products, and so we really appreciate that. And it's not it's this group, but everyone else outside of the world is starting to take notice. Folks are asking about the Aptos community. They want to dig into all the different projects that have been building. Whether you're NBC Universal or a very large Hollywood studio, or a sports league, they're very curious about this amazing community, and how they can leverage some of the products that have been built on top of the protocol. So it's just a big kudos to everyone here, and we really appreciate everything. And we'll probably touch on this in a bit, or maybe towards the end. But yes, we have an amazing tech stack, but a lot of this does not exist without you all building, right? And so it's been crazy to see. The last meetup that we had was just a few months ago. It feels like years ago, when everyone came down to Palo Alto to hang out with us from the NFT community. And I can't wait for the next meetup that we have, whether I get to see folks in Amsterdam, or we all get to see each other in Amsterdam, or other parts of our world tour later this year. But it's been, one thing that I've really appreciated from folks that I get to hang out with, whether it's grabbing breakfast with Doug early morning in New York, catching up with Bones, or even other folks in other ecosystems that are paying attention to Aptos, that are considering building. Everyone has this common thread of really being thoughtful about each other and creating a safe space. And this, kind of the tribalistic nature that we've seen in the past no longer seems to exist within our ecosystem, especially within Aptos. And so, I just want to continue to encourage everyone for being extremely open, especially to our peers who are fellow entrepreneurs and builders. You don't know what they're going through, and we'll talk a little bit about that towards the end. But if they're frustrated because of the ecosystem that they're in, it's not paying attention to them, or it's not giving them the credit they deserve for bootstrapping their communities and their ecosystems, you should invite them, because we do that here, and we do want to make sure that folks that have ambitious ideas and projects and can leverage this amazing community in a way to get up and running quickly. So those are just some of the things that I wanted to open up with. Avery, I know you got some great topics that you wanted to share, so I can kind of pass you the mic.
Thanks, Mo. I just want to echo that we are excited about everyone building in this space. We've seen some amazing things coming out from this community.
I don't know if others are having trouble hearing Avery. Austin,
sorry.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Heard what I said.
I can hear you, Mo. Hopefully folks can hear me
we can
now.
hear you. I think Twitter's just broken.
Okay.
Cool.
With that being said, I guess while Avery gets back on, Doug, I know you have to jump, and so I'd love to hear from you how you're thinking about LivePeer and the next generation of adoption. How you guys thought about the Aptos experience. You've looked at a bunch of other protocols. You've been building on Ethereum to start. I come from the Ethereum world, so would love to hear your take on how things are going and where LivePeer is headed.
Sure thing. Thanks, Mo. Yeah, I could hear Avery fine. So Avery, sorry to cut you off there right before you're about to give some updates there.
No,
but
Doug,
I could quickly answer some of Mo's questions and then hang around for a little bit as well. Thanks so much for hosting this. For those of you who don't know, LivePeer is the world's open video streaming infrastructure, and it's a decentralized network that powers live video and on-demand video streaming for a bunch of social apps, media apps, blockchain connected apps in the space. People can use it across many chains, but we were really excited by the Aptos technology, the Move programming language, the potential scalability of the network when it comes to thinking about how we actually disrupt sort of traditional social media, Web2 social media going forward, and video is a huge part of that. So right around launch, we moved to do a Aptos integration. There's a developer SDK that lets apps add live video, on-demand video, to their applications really easily. And then where the like Aptos integration comes in is it's really twofold initially. One is sort of minting video assets as NFTs on Aptos, and the second is actually controlling who can access video based on the tokens or the NFTs or the wallet addresses that are in the users' wallets. So it's thinking about access control in like a truly decentralized and permissionless and open way that works for communities. And I think that can be really powerful for DAOs, for NFT projects that want to create engaging content and sort of control access based on who's in the community. So it's been a great experience. We've been participating in some of the Aptos ecosystem hackathons recently with Chingari, a leading social app out in Japan. Looking forward to Amsterdam in the coming months as well. And excited to hear what everyone here is building when it comes to the future of media.
Amazing. Thanks, Doug. I think Avery, do you want to go ahead? I know we also cut you off. Sorry about that.
No worries. I appreciate hearing what Doug had to say about building and all the things that are happening in this space. I just wanted to kind of also, echo what Mo said. We're really excited about the folks that are coming together in the Aptos ecosystem. One thing from the developer side you've started to see is that we're starting to ship mainnet every month now, just about. And getting those features, that you guys all need as quickly as possible into your hands. And I think that's something that differentiates us quite a bit from other networks, is that we work very closely with developers. We've seen the AIP processes from lots of different community members, from initiation processes to also feedback to moving into production very, very quickly. And this allows us all to move faster as a community. And so this town hall is really a chance for us to get together and continue to build on that momentum and iterate quickly with respect to not just our software stack, but also the applications being built. And so it's really a great opportunity for all of us to connect. And I'm really happy to have you all here and looking forward to this discussion.
Amazing. Thanks, Mo. Thanks, Avery. I think, we got a ton of people up here. We got Mo and Avery. What questions do we have? I think we have 7 or 8 guests. So what do you guys want to talk about? What would you love to hear from Mo and Avery? If no one wants to talk, I'm going to start cycling through speakers, so just jump right in.
My question is just kind of like, what's the plans for the future with the NFT space? Kind of how are we going to expand it and kind of reach other communities through marketing? I always mention that the reference where, I'm not saying we have to do this exactly, but Polygon gave a huge grant to youths to bring them over to bring some notoriety. That's one way of bringing an outside project. If I was to pick one, I'd say Famous Fox Federation from Solana is who I'd reach out to. But other than that, just in terms of the companies that are in the space, like some of the more, like the Aptos monkeys, like the guys who've been here for a long time, I know they got a lot going on. I'm just curious, like for upcoming projects like Pandas and some of these smaller ones like ours, kind of what the plans are. And thank you.
Oh, man, I think I'm going to take a first stab at this. Mo, Avery, anything? Or should I go? I see Mo's not muted, but he's not talking.
I'm happy to share some thoughts. So I think we saw the Aptos Artist Grant Program. That's, I think, a great way for folks with interest in NFTs to get involved. We're definitely looking for things that are a bit different from other communities here. I mean, there's a lot of great work that's been done in the Aptos space, and we want to have folks push the boundaries of what can be done with Objects V2, with some of the new composability things that are rolling out. And also just when you think about all the ideas of what AI-generated art is starting to look like these days, we'd love to also see some new things in that space. So definitely appreciate that, there's things we can do with other projects that have, flourished in the past, and we want to do those things. I think the Artist Grant Program allows us to work both with existing projects and also new ideas in this space. And we're excited to see what you all build.
I agree with that. I think Mo was having, let's get Mo back up here. I know he was having some technical issues. There you go. Echoing Avery, Artist Grants Program. The really, really exciting thing about this is we spent months thinking about the most efficient and effective way to deploy capital to artists that actually is meaningful. We've seen a lot of other programs go live that, in theory, look good and sound good, and behind the scenes, it's really not what artists need to be successful. And so we spent a lot of time thinking about the most efficient way to help artists. And one of the things that we really came up with was launching this early and allowing the artists that are actually going to be part of the grants program to help us shape it in real time. And what we mean by that is allowing the people that we are directly providing capital or resources or support to help guide us in a way that makes this program as efficient as possible. Because we've seen people just throw a ton of money out and not really have anything happen, and we've seen programs where people have thrown very little amounts of money around and have seen massive impact. And so we're trying to find this spot where we can really support artists in a way that's meaningful to them. And we think this hasn't really ever happened before, and so this is going to be a really interesting opportunity for us to explore this in real time with all of y'all. And I think, the NFT projects on Aptos are incredible. Just kind of looking through the guest list right now of everyone that's here, it's like the representation of Bra Bears and Spooks and Aptos Monkeys and all of these projects I'm seeing as I'm looking through Aptos Creatures is just incredible, like Aptos Mingos. And it's really cool. So we hear you guys and we see all you guys, and we are working like tirelessly to make sure that what we provide you is as helpful as possible. And Mo, please just interrupt me and jump in.
Yeah, sorry, I was having a bunch of Twitter difficulties. But I think I have it all sorted out. I think Avery and Austin raised great points, right? I think you have the artist grant program, and we have ways of adding value, making sure your NFT project is positioned for success long term. But I think the days of the past are definitely not going to necessarily shape the future, right? And so you have to think about where NFTs are headed, and there's such a broad spectrum beyond just the PFP that we've learned to love or grown to love. And if you think about expanding into like where other folks are interested, you have to pay attention to other companies that are coming into this space that are much larger, that are looking at someone like Yuga and the Bored Ape community. They might be looking at even the Aptos community and what's going on here. And so I think grants are helpful. They bootstrap you and get you started, no different than seed capital. And you should definitely look at the artist grant program as a part of that. But I think what will be more interesting is the robust ecosystem that we're building around our community. And it kind of comes in those two flavors. You have the very large enterprises that want to incorporate an existing Aptos community of artists. At the same time, you also have each other, right? And but what I love seeing is all the different NFT projects collaborating, taking advantage of things like composable NFTs, and bringing them to life. And I think that is something that's far more innovative than someone going from protocol A to protocol B for a short amount of notice. And I know a lot of y'all have been doing some really cool stuff. I know Martian is here. I'd love to hear their plans for what they're looking at the in the Aptos community.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for allowing me to speak. Great to be here in the space. And just some of the things that we are also excited about, and like thinking just from the perspective of onboarding more users onto Aptos is solving for that onboarding experience. So we are looking currently into social logins that would abstract away the seed phrase part of the logins. We are currently looking into multiple architectures that can be used to achieve that. And apart from that, also on the gaming front, we are working on a couple of cool features that can enhance the gaming user experience substantially. So one of them being session keys, where you basically allow a particular game to for a certain period of time you can like pre-approve transactions, so that while playing the game you don't have to open the extension every now and then and approve transactions. So I mean, yeah, these are some of the things, but like we are also exploring a couple of other features, just like improving, also working on the mobile app, and like trying to build a better UX and UI flow there. But like also on the gaming front, would love to understand what other people are thinking on, like what are the features that could be built in the wallet that can enhance the gaming user experience.
I don't know if Rise or Evo have any thoughts here? Leave it as like a wallet open call real quick.
Yeah, great to be here, guys. Just wanted to reinforce that the point that Mo and Avery basically said before, that building the robust environment for all projects, NFTs and DeFi is basically of utmost importance before we, I don't know, get someone in from the outside and just I don't know, get them in. But what I wanted to say is basically, we on Rise, we think that the current infrastructure can be a lot better, especially around NFTs. So we're working on for you to see all the NFT prices directly in your wallet. We're currently building this with Indexer, XYZ, who are also here. So you will see prices. You basically all the core functions of what you want to do in a wallet should be available in the wallet. And there's a ton of other stuff that we can do, but this is where we basically need to work together. We need to ask NFT project, DeFi projects, okay, what they need and how we can help empower them, because all in all, we are just a tool for users to access some of these amazing apps that are currently being built out there. So if anyone has a huge blocker that they see right now, please just let us know and we will try to make it happen.
Yeah, and regarding Evo, we were also thinking about becoming more of an NFT-focused wallet, and we are kind of developing some more features in our NFT section right now, as well as like launching the Aptos NFT with the super cool utilities that will be tied to the features of some like dApps that we partnered with. So. And we would be really glad also to partner with some kind of games on Aptos, and we are also thinking like to develop more of our plans in that part of yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I think with things being so new, there's massive opportunities for wallets to really experiment here and get creative with how we're seeing features deployed. And this stage of a network is the best time to do that. You can experiment and you can try things, and some things might not work, but the things that do are going to have a massive impact. Avery, I know I interrupted you earlier. Did you have something you wanted to say?
Oh, not at all. I just kind of wanted to address, I think the question that the Martian folks had earlier around, what our game is looking for today. I think the session keys are an interesting idea, but the general problem we want to solve is that we all these great applications that exist today in gaming. When you log in, it's not something that's a hindrance to your play. It's something that's just part of the process, but it's outside that core gameplay experience. And so the ability for us to do more to make the experience more native to what exists for internet applications and internet gaming today is going to be key for onboarding lots and lots of folks into Web3 and making it a very seamless experience. So the more we can do in that space, definitely amongst all our wallets, amongst all our ecosystem partners and infrastructure partners, to build and not just build at the edges, but also influence how the core gets built. And so if there's things that we can do at the L1 layer around key rotation, around the way we handle custody, and making these things more transparent, auditable, so users can have faith that when these changes happen, they're going to happen in an auditable way, like something can be checked on chain at the precise timestamp, is something we definitely want to work with you on. So let's continue building the IP process and see what's next for the team.
And friendly reminder, if you are building on Aptos, you're a project, any of that, shoot a request. We're going to be doing a ton of rotations here coming up. I want to do a bit of a pivot, and I think, Mo, you probably have some really strong thoughts here, but we are really starting to look at what our expansion and presence and initiatives in India looks like. And I think we have a couple of like key players up here from the Aptos India ecosystem. Obviously, Chingari, Kana, Martian. How are you guys seeing things? Like, what's the environment looking like? How are you thinking about expansion within the region, and what's really important for y'all? I would love to kind of hear some thoughts.
I mean, I don't know if that was for me, but I would love to hear others' thoughts here. I mean, we had an India AMA where I think there was just very very difficult to even get a spot to listen. And I think I had a chance to hang out with Prakash, and I see he's here, so would love to hear how you guys have been thinking about things. I know you shared some of your plans with me before, so.
Yes, thanks for having me here. Am I audible? Just taking a quick check.
Yep.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it was like a busy week for us. So I think we were one of the few projects that were like three different places: Hong Kong, Tokyo, and FNYC. And now we are back jet lagging and powering through. Yeah, I think for those who don't know about us, with Chingari, we're like a Web3 social platform. And we were already having like a bunch of users before we took the Web3 plunge like 18 months back. So how we look at onboarding users is like uh, make the user experience as simple as possible, where the blockchain experience is not in your face, like a lot of protocols do. Uh, and of course, I think that's been the core for problem that we kind of solved initially, and we're always looking to power through in terms of how we can make the user experience really better. And even the last 4 months of building on Aptos, we observed that there's like at least like a 5x increase in dev experience, and at least like 20% increase in transaction speed, which is really auguring well as we head towards the mainnet launch next month. But yeah, I think those things aside, I think it's really important to think about community as well in terms of ecosystem. That's why we have had the opportunity to work with a lot of amazing partners. So even at NFT NYC, we had a chance to chat with a lot of people, including Mo as well. So how we're thinking is, of course, like how we kind of leverage a lot of projects within the Aptos ecosystem is something we also want to do for the Indian ecosystem as well. Like I said before, like I think we would definitely like to see like 50 different teams building on Aptos by end of the year. So that could be like a great benchmark for us to support. And any project building on social, especially, I think that's where we'll be like really come forward, because social is like could be the center of a lot of things, whether it's like gaming or it could be something else. Could be like a DeFi project wants to explore something social that we'll be like very happy to partner with. So onboarding experience is something, and how we see the onboarding habits happen for the users is something we keenly observe on a daily basis. And that experience is something we'll be very happy to share. And we have a larger picture as well in terms of how we look at Web3 social as from protocol level. So that is something that's going to be really huge, interesting. With we work with a lot of partners, and of course, like we basically like what made Chingari successful is the Web3 stack, right? So the Web3 stack, it's also can be very useful for a lot of other projects to get started. This is also for like companies that want to get started as well. So that is something we are really looking forward. And of course, I think even from the NFT side, I think even in Jan at the Palo Alto meetup, we had the chance to talk to David as well, on how the token V2 standards could really be helpful for NFT projects. So I think this is also helpful for a lot of NFT projects to kind of power through and play around different token standards. So each NFT could be really unique as for the holders as well. I think these are all like some great tenets we observe that will be really awesome for the community to build on.
That's super cool to hear, and I hear we have something in the works for India later this year as well. So I think that'll answer your question a little bit more directly too, Austin. One one of the things I think Prakash is being a little he's leaving folks with a little anticipation there. Um, One of the things that we were going through earlier was thinking about a lot of our core values, and we think about them internally and as well as we think about them externally. And one of them is be bold, be innovative and creative, and dare to disrupt. And I love that many of you are doing that. Um, uh, and as I think about, I guess, Chingari, right? Like you have this entire stack that you're working through, but you're doing it in a way where you're trying to change the way creators are rewarded, and I think that's incredibly valuable. It's kind of heroic to go up against the Goliaths that are out there, and so what I also I'm curious to hear from others on this call, and as we look at different industries, I see Wayne is in here, and he's been looking at some cool things, and maybe he'll want to come up and speak. But what are the other industries that you guys are excited about? where you do want to be bold and introduce new products in the space?
What's the question? I think.
It could be you.
Yeah, yeah.
Just being bold and disruptive. I know you said you had some big ideas in the works, but curious to hear from Chigari's side, but also others in terms of how they're being bold and challenging the incumbents.
Yeah, I think I can just add like quick bite at it. So I think we always speak a lot about onboarding the next billion on-chain users, right? So that will also come from a lot of companies that we onboard. It's always interesting we speak a lot to Web2 companies as well, like that, who might be revenue positive or already have a lot of users. For them to make the switch, they look at companies like us. So like how we approach things. So that is like we give them like a really different lens of how to look at utilizing Web3 protocols and how we make it easy from the Web3 experience as well, user experience, so that it's like really simple for the user. And incentivization is also something we really focus on. I think these insights could be very useful for a lot of gaming partners as well.
Appreciate that. And
sorry. So from our side, basically from Kana's side, what we try to do is to bring in. We are working on bringing in liquidity to multiple chains as such. I believe there are two problems that need to be resolved. One is bringing in the users, and the other is about bringing in the liquidity as such. From our side, we are working with institutions, DeFi or rather TradFi institutions, to basically bring in multiple products and products and say, for example, option walls, DOVs, and as well as other derivative and hedging products as such, which are attractive to institutions. And we believe that would be a strong way of building liquidity on Aptos and also other chains as well. Because as I said, bringing in users is just solving one part of the problem. The other part is about bringing in liquidity as well, which I believe we multiple.
Yep. No, absolutely. And I think I pulled them up, and I would love to get their take on this Move Developer DAO. It's a team that I've been working with the past couple of weeks who are doing some really cool things. I don't know who's actually on the account right now, but you guys want to kind of talk about all the things you're doing in India as we're looking at expanding the Move ecosystem out there?
Hey, yeah, definitely, Austin. Seth here. So yeah, we had a couple of busy weeks. We have just established our first Move community in Rabbi University College this week, and it has been a pretty good experience learning from students what they want and what they kind of how they kind of believe in the blockchain industry, and we introduced Aptos to them, Move language to them. So it has been a pretty good journey. So basically, we just introduced the whole ecosystem to them, and then help them understand what all value propositions there are on building on Aptos and why you should choose Move as a language. So yeah, I have to say, pretty great to learn from all of these events that we have been doing in the universities, and like the same thing kind of we plan across in the span of the whole year, like reaching out to another 30-35 universities, kind of planning a whole program and cohort kind of thing where we divide all of these students into personas and then onboard them one by one by understanding their what they need in the industry and how we can provide them in terms of educational resources and in terms of other development help and other things. So yeah, it has been good working with these students and expanding the whole Aptos and Move ecosystem in India and onboarding college students, the young crowd, to the ecosystem.
Yep. In short, we are slowly but surely trying to teach everyone in university about Move. So it's quite the undertaking, but it's been incredible. Thanks for that, Seth. So I think I wanna take a pretty hard pivot here. We're gonna do a rotation of speakers. Ottersec, I don't know who's managing the account, but I kind of want to pivot into just product, like the importance of product technical side of product, how things are looking on that front. So I think kind of kicking things off where I rotate some folks. Give me the quick rundown on product security and how
Yeah,
y'all
of
are looking at
course.
that.
Hey guys, thanks Austin for the introduction. This is Christian on the head of accounts at OtterSec. Product wise, security wise, I mean, as a product, it's more so a service what we primarily do. It's smart contract audits for a lot of the ecosystem partners here in the chat. But as a product, something we're building out is basically being able to parse the Aptos blockchain into letting us know when large sums of money are being moved around and when a protocol does get hacked, whether we've audited them or not. We obviously want the ecosystem to remain secure, so something we're actively monitoring to make sure we know where the money goes and are potentially able to retrieve it in the event of a hack. So that's the quick thing, and then there are a few things involving AI down the road that we will see um, based on an announcement. So stay tuned.
Excellent. Thank you, man. And I'm gonna pop out of here as the co-host and give the space to someone else, but I think Wapple, Indexer, Abel. I know you guys have been pretty quiet, so jump in here and give me the quick run on how you guys are looking at product, because both Wapple and Indexer are doing some really interesting and unique things within the space.
Well, we are not in the same space as Indexer or Wapple. We are a decentralized lending and borrowing protocol. We have been on Aptos for right now, well, in a few days, over 8 months. 5 on the mainnet and working. We have been doing pretty good. And we're also launching just to shield, but we're also launching pretty soon, or well, tomorrow, our freeming NFT collection dedicated to the community, to the Aptos, and they also whitelisting the OG collections on Aptos like Spooks or Brothers, Aptos Monkeys, just to make more awareness about able finance, because we have a few setbacks when it comes to reaching out, let's say, the core players on the Aptos ecosystem. But we have been here for a while, and we offer let's say, the most diverse basket of assets of any other lending borrowing protocol right now.
I'll go ahead and take it and let Waffle go after me. This is Lewis with Indexer. I appreciate Austin you bringing us up. Mo, I had the pleasure of meeting you out at GDC in San Francisco. Avery, I'm looking forward to meeting you in the future. So just to kind of briefly touch on what we do for maybe the people that don't know or maybe don't understand, we're a multi-chain indexing solution that allows people, projects, developers, to get the necessary data they need to build their applications at scale. So we help projects get the data in a human readable format that makes it easy for them to use that data in their applications. We work with a lot of wallets, marketplaces, social infrastructure, a lot of different use cases, and essentially anyone that wants to use NFT data. And we, like Bro Bears, has built Snapshot tool on top of us. You may have seen a lot of our community tooling throughout the ecosystem. But what we're really trying to do, and kind of our vision, is really helping the developers, empowering developers to build products, focus more on their product and what differentiates in the market, rather than spending all this time getting the data they need to make their product better. So that's really our commitment to the ecosystem. Because we have this universal data layer, it allows people to easily build applications cross-chain. And we're already seeing, we made an announcement yesterday where one of our partners, they're going to be building on Aptos because it's really easy for them now to use our platform to bring their application to us. And we want to kind of help with that cross-pollination of ecosystems and communities, but also really focus on the developer experience for each community that we're involved with. And as a part of that commitment, we were inspired by the artist grant from the foundation. As a part of that commitment, we are going to have a startup program that allows developers to leverage our platform and start building for free, and have a lot of the ability to build a lot of the product for free on Aptos. So that's going to be our goal, to help empower the developers of the ecosystem.
That is huge, and this is the first time I'm hearing about this. So this is amazing. Do you want to give a quick rundown on how people building right now can access the indexer and kind of what that path looks like for them to get
Yeah,
going?
so on the site we actually have a public, like a free API Explorer where anyone can go get the data they need. Now this is more rate limited. It's just kind of to show people how to use it. We have a lot of documents that we can share to help onboard people, but I mean, you could essentially just reach out to us through our Twitter. You can also request an API key. If you go to indexer.xyz in the top right hand corner, it says get an API key, and we'll follow up immediately for any of the requests that come through.
So cool. I'm really excited to see Indexer take off, and it's awesome meeting you at GDC as well. And I think a lot of gaming companies could benefit from that too. I think I know we've been talking about some of the projects that are taking advantage of the Aptos stack. Avery, I'm going to pick on you a little bit here. I would love to see a little bit more of the technical direction that you're thinking about for the coming months and years ahead. That the folks here would love to learn about.
Well, thanks, Mo, for that. I think as folks have seen in the last several months, we've been shipping monthly, as I mentioned. You've seen 100x lower gas fees. You've seen new move primitives such as objects and resource groups roll out. There'll be some new things. I think the Aptos website hinted about staking coming out soon. And so this project continues to gain momentum and roll out things faster than ever. And that kind of means we have a very good DevX experience. You kind of see performance of this network is pretty much unmatched in this space, and the cost is going to be is already very cheap, and it's going to be even cheaper in the coming days and months to follow. And now with all these advantages from the systems infrastructure, we'd love to understand what the community can do to push the limits of this infrastructure. We want you to build whatever you can creatively, make the best user experience, as we kind of called out earlier today, from a wallet perspective. From a gaming perspective, how do we think about composability with objects and the ability for dynamic modification of those objects with immutable properties in some areas? We'd love to understand, how does AI and products get built together in a very novel way. And we're thinking about some interesting ideas of how AI how blockchain as a platform can incentivize AI driven creation, also AI large learning models or other large models in general. So this is a chance, I think, for our community to come together and build some new amazing products that haven't been built before in this ecosystem, that challenge what internet applications have done today, but in a decentralized fashion. And so, I'd love to see what this community can build, given the amazing talent, resources, and team behind it. So that's my pitch.
I'm curious if I can ask a question on the topic of AI. What are some things, I guess, from Mo and Avery that you guys would like to see out of AI, like as a service, whether it be through security or product or DeFi, whatever it may be, some things that you guys have in mind?
I can start here. So I think one thing that we've started to experiment with a little bit internally is how can things like large language models help with developer experiences. How can it help you with writing a simple smart contract or writing specifications on a smart contract that can kind of get you from ideation into production more quickly, and hopefully even be tools that are used for auditors like AutoSec that can make your jobs easier, hopefully. So that's one area that we definitely are looking for. The other area I think is around how do you incentivize more collection of data in a way that rewards users for their kind of availability of that data. How do we support the notion that there could be things like federated learning and privacy with respect to certain organizations, but be able to provide kind of training models that support a larger customer base and larger input data sets. So those are some of the areas that we're really excited about with this platform. For those who don't know, actually, my previous life before I came to blockchain was in the area of data analytics. I worked on things like MapReduce, Spark, Hive, Hadoop. And so that's, and AI to some extent in graph processing. So that's an area that I think we're all truly passionate about, and seeing the kind of convergence of what OpenAI is doing today, and also other products in the space with blockchain, and how blockchain can be that immutable ledger and a way for people to participate and collaborate, is something truly exciting for this
It's funny
space
you
going
say
forward.
that. I actually gave a presentation in Singapore at one point on how AI will ultimately make our lives easier, but it will never replace us simply because AI is only taught by humans, the humans that teach it, right? And it's like, while it will make our lives easier and it may make audits cheaper, it could never replace us. But what it helps us do is focus on the more complex edge cases in smart contracts. Um, and it's funny because the like we used to have a take-home test that we would send to new hires. Like, hey, if you can find the vulnerabilities in this code, after 3 take-home tests, then you're hired basically. And we found out that ChatGPT could actually solve the first 2 because they were too easy for it. So we found that ChatGPT started solving our take-home tests, and people are obviously using it to do so. So we're like, oh shoot, we gotta change this up. So we did, and I mean, yeah, we're using it to our advantage for the easy stuff, and it's ultimately dropping. I mean, it's freeing up some of our time, making audits quicker, and like I said, allowing us to focus on the more complex stuff.
Makes a lot of
Uh,
sense. We'd love to call Wayne up. Wayne, I'm sure you have some thoughts on AI and blockchain.
Yeah, I'd love to jump in there. So we're a little bit different than most crypto deals. We're very much consumer facing. We're building a lot of big stuff around food and connecting users to food options they can order. One of the cool things that we're doing with AI, though, and also on the call, my co-founder is James Pricione. You may have seen on Food Network. James was the OG in generative AI. Him and our other co-founder, Lav Varshney, were doing generative AI with food 10 years ago. And one of the things that we're leveraging Aptos for as we start to get into this idea of creating bespoke recipes for users based on their flavor profiles, nutrition targets, that we have this library of content that we're putting on chain that's owned by individual chefs. And then we can start to tune models to create this new content, and then the chefs that have content on chain, we can actually compensate in mass for leveraging their initial content to drive our models. And so you start to see some of this in the media now. That the big LLMs are profiting off of the work of others, where we're building a specific model towards food, where the chefs that are part of the platform can not only leverage our tools, but because their content is part of what's driving our models, we can use the blockchain to actually compensate them when things are created using that data. So it's a really unique way of establishing ownership, and then compensation for creating these big models. So just you'll see more on us. We're about to start taking the veils off what we've been building the last 9 months. We've got our first kind of public launch event coming up May 2nd, but there's a lot of cool things that we're doing around the space.
Super cool. I can't wait. I don't know if James wants to come up and speak and share from his perspective what it takes to go from a Food Network chef to building a Web3 AI product. I'm so excited to see to hear his perspective. And I guess while he figures it out at Able Finance, I see you guys have your hands up. Do you wanna take the stage?
Yeah. When I'm talking about AI, is something that, for example, right now, Able is using an automated form for liquidations. Every time that any position gets past the threshold of liquidation, it is immediately automated, liquidated. And we use the EPO router to immediately swap the liquidated asset for the other asset. But we are seeing, for example, AI in the future, it could predict default on any loan position that it could be on any decentralized lending borrowing platform. It's something that we could explore, but right now, calculations being automated, that is probably the best way for guarantee the health of any lending platform.
That's very cool. That's very cool. All right, who else is on here? That I'm trying. This is my first time actually hosting a Twitter space. So that's I'm learning and navigating. Um, let's see. James, come on up.
Yeah. Hey guys. So kind of just following up on what Wayne said there, and and to the question. Yeah, it's two very different worlds from going cooking and being a judge competitively on TV and on the Food Network to this world of blockchain and AI. But also like Wayne said, I mean, this was something that started really for me 10 years ago when I first partnered up with Law Varshney when he was still with IBM, and we built Chef Watson. And I mean, that was an AI model that we built from scratch. We didn't have the convenience of any LLMs really existing. We found all of the data sets, took all of the flavor science, found ways to quantify, and then rolled it into these models that we use to create recipes in a way that people had never ever done before. It's a heck of a lot easier to do now, 10 years later. And we are super excited about everything that we're doing right now with Nutrios, and the potential. I think we're kind of building some core functionalities that are going to enable a lot of really creative people out there to build even further on top of what we're creating. And that's the ultimate goal as we move in, I mean, we are revolutionize this space of food technology and privacy, and kind of and disrupt these models of Uber Eats, who for me as a restaurant owner and operator, I mean, it is just an awful experience, working within those existing models. Take rates are awful. You don't have much control over the user experience, and kind of everyone out there wants a better option than dealing with Uber Eats, but one doesn't exist until a few months from now when Nutrios does. And that's where we're heading, and that's the goal. And so it's all super exciting. And I've the other biggest issue we always have, that people have with Uber Eats, is they own all of your data. And by building on Aptos, your data stays private. We won't even know. We as Nutrius won't even know all of your specifics. That stays private on the blockchain, which is unique and such an important part. And I think as we integrate AI more and more into our lives, I think that being able to provide that type of security, reassurance, confidence in for the user is going to be a massively important part of messaging. In everything that everyone is building. You want AI to make your life better and easier, but you don't want it to know everything specifically about you. And that's kind of that big problem set that we're attacking.
Man, that's such a cool thing to see come to life. I can't wait for someone to know and not know who I am, but take my Yelp data and my Uber Eats data and automatically deliver a meal to me without me having to order it at 7 p.m.
Exactly. And then as you link all your profiles together, for the whole office, so we'll be able to generate meals and find options that's going to that ultimate battle that when you have the group meeting or you have whatever, well, this person eats that, this person doesn't eat that. As you can do kind of like group orders and link everybody's profiles together, and find food that everyone's going to like without having to link up 6 different deliveries.
Are you an avid
You know,
Yelp user, Mo? Are you on there leaving lots of reviews?
Oh man. There's an SNL skit where they're reading bad Yelp reviews, or people that give negative Yelp reviews. I would probably be up there in terms of humor. I do have one question before, I have to jump at 8:30, but this space can definitely continue to keep going on. But James, what's your go-to meal that you order on Uber Eats?
I don't. I'm cooking, man. I'm always the one cooking. I mean, obviously, and really, actually, since I left the city, the options are a little bit less appealing, in smaller towns, and I think that's another big, problem set that we want to tackle with Nutrios as well is. So many amazing local restaurants stay away from Uber Eats because the model is not great for them and makes business too difficult for them. So I'm in Pensacola, Florida. So being here,
Hey James,
it's mostly
give me 1 second. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off. I know Mo and Avery have to run like right now, so I
Okay.
wanted to give you guys each like a second to just say any last words before you guys got to bounce. I think a couple of us got to go, but the space will keep running with the community folks. So Mo, Avery, anything you guys got for us before you head out?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll let Avery close it out from us. Avery, I'll pass it to you.
All right. Definitely, this was an engaging session. Appreciate all the different opinions of everyone, and I think all the unique ideas here. We have something that's really cool as a community to come together and discuss things in the open. Things that some people might consider proprietary, but it's really great to have folks that want to build together and build towards that decentralized future. So I'm really just engaged and excited for this morning and for the week ahead. Let's all just keep building the space and keep sharing our ideas with everyone. Look forward to our next town hall in which we have more creators that come and talk about the cool things they're doing. Take advantage of our network. Have a great day, and we'll catch up with you next time. So thanks a lot.
Awesome. Thanks, Avery. Thanks, Mo. Thanks, everyone.